Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Oh my goodness, what we got a lot to talk about. I did broadcast last night, and what was happening? Oh my goodness, the local police there in Minneapolis, whether it was state police or sheriff's department or whatever, figured out that they actually can arrest people and quiet things down. So anyway, we're going to talk about that. Nobody's talking except Fox News and a couple others about the big raid in Fulton County. That's the story. That's the real story. And then you got ILHAN, OMAR. Oh my goodness, she was so brave. We're going to talk about that and a lot more. But what do I do when I put up my videos? I give people time to get into the chats and settle down with their favorite beverage, such as a nice hot cup of coffee or a cold brew, or an adult libation, whatever you want. And I play my video, give you all time to settle in. Come on in, shake off your skin, and rattle around in your bones. And then we'll be like butter, right? Ha-ha, and get on a roll. I got to cut my mic.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. The puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
You want to play this? Okay. Come on. Okay. You want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you're here. Oh, my goodness, it's cold, baby. It's cold outside. Hi, Sissy. How you doing? Robin, nice to see you. Sherry. Wayne's giving me a thumbs up. Ha ha. Nice to see you, Wayne. Cole's here. Nice to see you. Let's see. Mr. Kennedy has arrived. Rebecca's here. Robin's here. Mac's here. Nathan's here. All right. Anybody lurking it out there? Any lurkers? Lurkers are welcome. So, I wish I had more time or I had some kind of editor or something to help me out. I would get up faster, do my broadcast, start them sooner, but I do the best I can. Hello, Richard. Without power. Have you got power now, Richard? That's the question. Pappy Two Bears, I gave you a shout out the other night, Pappy, but I didn't see you. But I'm glad you made it tonight. And Nathaniel's here. Miss Mendersu is here. All right. I'm glad you all are rolling in. Todd's here. All right. Rain, nice to see you. So, yeah, that's the story, what I got on the screen. I got that screenshot. They raided Fulton County, and they weren't fooling around. Man, I got so many videos from other time periods that I didn't get to play. But, it's the same screwball screaming and yelling out in the weather, raising hell. And they're running out of steam. Hi, Melinda. Nice to see you, Melinda. All right. They're running out of steam, but they're trying to find that narrative that's going to get traction. They got to vote on whether or not we're going to shut down or not. They've got judges working with them. Judges stopping deportation because a 5-year-old had a Spider-Man backpack. And it's just awful the way ICE treats people. Everybody knows that. So, I got some videos of some of the vicious things they're saying. What do you all think about ILHAN What do you think are the chances? Now, see, I just came up with this thumbnail. How do you like this thumbnail? See, if I had more time or had somebody helping me, you know what that is, right? It's that hero nurse. A new video they found of the hero nurse screaming at the ICE agents, spitting on the vehicle. I'll play it. I got a short version and I got a longer version. Kicking the taillight. I mean, knocked it right out. That was 11 days before he got SH and then OT. Hi, MS Motorsports. How you doing? So they said he had a run-in with the cops about a week before and was thrown on the ground and broke a rib. And so this one of him kicking the taillight out was 11 days before. So I'm just trying to piece together the reporting, from what I hear, because I didn't see him get his rib broke. Let me tell you, I dislocated a couple of ribs one time, falling from a great height on some very hard material, as I used to be barrel-chested, and I knocked the bead jabbers out of my ribs and dislocated two of them. I couldn't have been out a week later, raising hell, screaming and yelling. You could hardly breathe. Anybody ever dislocate or break a rib? How long does it take a bone to heal? A bone. Let me tell you something. You're not going to be out there very energetic 7 days after breaking a rib. So anyway, we'll talk about that some more. But turns out his story is a bunch of hocus pocus and crapioca. And ILHAN OMAR had her little suspicious interaction with a person that they're finding more out about him. They're finding a lot about a lot of people. And I was sitting there thinking before I went live, I said, gee, Jiminy Crickets. If I was younger and still had my mentality that I have now, I don't know that I would have the same mentality. I don't know what kind of school I've been exposed to. But the majority of my upbringing was from my parents, I learned, my first formative years of going to school, I knew my mom taught me math. She taught me colors. She taught me she raised me. And I'm sitting in school like, man, these kids are dumb. You don't know that yet? But anyway, I graduated early, too. I could have graduated 2 years early. But anyway, I don't know what I would have turned out to be if I'd have been coming up in this day and age, seeing what I'm seeing, where you can't make sense of what you're seeing. The only thing I could think to say was enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. What makes a good show, folks? What makes a good show? Greg, how you doing? Nice to see you. Did I miss anybody? Let me see. Oh, it doesn't look like it. All right. So anyway, what I would have done with this thumbnail if I had time, I'd have put that picture of that little kid. They got a picture of him straight on with a smile on his face, little chubby cheeks. I'd have put him down in the left-hand corner there, because the narratives are so bizarre. Judges have already been told not to interfere with ICE. That is detainees, and that is with the Article 2 courts that have been set up. So they're defying the Supreme Court. ICE is complying while they're appealing. All these people are showing up to the detention center, talking about the kid and the father. I'll give you my opinions on that as when we get farther into discussion. I would not let anybody interact that wasn't an attorney. I wouldn't let anybody interact with those people because they could go in there And they can insert a narrative, coach a person to play along with a narrative that would help to further divide the country. And, by all rights, they just need to go back to their home country, just go back. They have Spider-Man backpacks in Ecuador or Mexico. They have doctors in Mexico and Ecuador. They have food. They have houses. Okay. If they want the standard of living that we have in this country, then interact with your own country just like ILHAN OMAR should and make your country great again. If there were people in those countries that were capable, willing, we would help them. We would help them. Donald Trump's proving that with the countries he interacts with. We want countries to be self-sufficient. We want people to increase their standard of living all around the world. But you sure in the hell ain't going to make things better in this country by letting every screwball come across the border and drain our wealth, siphon off our treasure, and become a burden on our society. But that's what they're shooting for. And, I'm back to where I was thinking, if I was coming up in this day and age and it had a kid or something and found somebody, a female that wasn't too far gone, that I could get along with and try to have a family, you couldn't send your kid to school without worrying about them being abused psychologically, approached in a lewd and lascivious manner, somebody talking to your 7, 8, 9-year-old about their genitalia. You couldn't go to the doctor with an American flag pin by, I have a Trump sticker on my car. Somebody in the parking lot saw it. And you don't know what they're going to do to you in the hospital. You can't trust the hospitals. You can't trust the schools. You can't trust the courts. You have these politically minded people that have lost their damn minds. And, wow, I have my little slice of life, it ain't much, but I can try to tend to my affairs and make sure I feed the cat or whatever. But going out there into this madhouse would be difficult if I were a young person coming up today. I don't know how the hell they're doing it. But there is a natural sense of order. Hi, Stan. How you doing? We have a who did I miss? No, I got it back. We have logic. We have reason. We have common sense. When you look at things and they don't make sense, there's something wrong. Something wrong. And it doesn't help that they finagle, piddle, screw around with everything they can to support whatever their narrative is. So anyway, I've been babbling for quite a while, but I want to play some videos that I have. Some of you may have already seen them, but what the heck, and I may get somebody in the chats, even though it doesn't look like, a lot of people are into the. Is there something going on tonight that I'm missing out on? A lot of people, tune into the this live stream or that live stream because people are protesting, and you might see what haven't we seen? It gets old hat after a while. For example, let me see right here. JLR investigates. I like him. You all know I like him, but he. Massive chaos and all this stuff in Texas. What's going to happen? Oh, my God. Almost 2 hours. Do you see what's on the screen? How many times have I said I've seen more people at a flea market? And, you know, I was working outside and had to listen to something. So I tuned in, and it was a big flop. I mean, yeah, I'm glad nobody got hurt, that they didn't, you know, do anything crazy. But this pack, I won't call it a mob, it's a pack, was marching down to a detention center in Texas. And they get there, 2 or 3 canisters of gas, and it's over. Get out of here. You're a illegal or unlawful gathering or whatever they call it. Just put an egg in your shoe and beat it. And it was over with. So Tom Homan goes down to Minneapolis. While his plane is in the air, they are stepping to it. They cleaned out the hotel parking lot. They arrested a bunch of people at the airport that hadn't been reported. I got a report, I'll show you on that the news didn't report on. And they cooperated because it wasn't ICE agents or Border Patrol agents. It was the state police. And they weren't screwing around. You get a wood shampoo if you don't do what you're told. And they had them lined up and zip tied. And that's what they need to do. I should play that video I had of Grady Judd. I said it should have been shown in every school in the country. If not for the students to learn, for the teachers to get some common sense. Look at this idiot, Eric Swalwell. The idiot, Greg Bavino, has been fired and is moving to California. What a damn lie. I have made it clear that when I'm governor, anyone who terrorized immigrants will not be hired by the state. Good luck finding a job. So who knows how long he had his staff go through to find this picture. The closest thing he could find to make it look like Bavino was giving the you-know-what salute. Just a pure POS. And there is a beginning to this narrative. There is a group of, as we read in the description of what kind of operation this is, where that somebody knowledgeable in insurrections, okay, and insurgencies are forming narratives and putting them out there. But I tell you what, it's getting so unbelievable. The internet is so much faster for giving out information. Like the wonderful nurse who just helps people, feeds puppies, and talks to old people in nursing homes in his spare time. All that stuff it turns out to be garbage. He was participating in the Signal bunch, coordinating efforts to actually be an unlawful combatant. Definitely an insurgent. And, that stuff falls apart so quick. They can't keep up. So, but they do have every facet of the government they've wiggled their damn way into. Here is one thing they're all hollering about now. Here it is. Judge orders ICE chief to appear in court to explain why detainees have been denied due process. That is just a damn lie. A lie by inference. Remember? I said that I was talking about the judge that said the judge put out an order to stop them from destroying evidence in the latest shooting. They're inferring that they're destroying evidence. Nobody was destroying it. Had no proof of it. But it's slander by inference. The chief federal judge in Minnesota says, the chief federal judge. Okay, who the hell's that? I've never heard that term before. Says the Trump administration has failed to comply with orders to hold hearings for detained immigrants and ordered the head of immigrations and custom enforcement to appear before him Friday to explain why he should be held in contempt. Why does he have to explain anything to anybody? That was ABC. Well, here's CNN. What's it saying on my screen? Wow, I'm having a problem. I'm having a internet web problem, folks. Hopefully this broadcast won't get cut down. Minnesota judge orders acting director Vice to appear in federal court to explain why he should not be held in contempt for violating court orders. Nobody's being denied due process. You've already been told by the Supreme Court to stay the hell away from ICE and immigration situations. But no, they're keeping on to it. Oh, I want to tell my Rumble crowd, I am not simulcasting. I don't know what I'm going to do about Rumble. I will keep messing with it, and I appreciate everybody on Rumble that follows me. But I spent damn near 45 minutes trying to upload a video, and it got dropped. Okay? So that happens a lot. I don't know what's going on with that bunch in tech. Not the good folks watching. But I'll keep trying to upload, but they got a problem. I'll talk about that later in further broadcasts. But anyway, slander by inference. Graybeard, how you doing? Felix, nice to see you. Yeah, give me a thumbs up. That helps the video get around. And if my broadcast does get cut off because I'm getting some weird messages on my phone about what's going on. But I want to thank for helping out. Finishing out the month, we got 2 days left. Mike and Bev and Colette, Todd, Pappy, Two Bears, and Wayne for going by Buy Me a Coffee and helping an old man out. This is a totally viewer-supported channel, don't you know? If you don't know, now you know. That's why you don't have any commercials or anything, because I'm a viewer-supported channel. So if anybody wants to help an old man out, I put a link in the chats at the 28-minute mark for Buy Me a Coffee. And I appreciate everybody that's gone by to help me out. Did I miss anybody that helped out this week? I don't believe so. But anyway, here's a Fox News alert. Let's see what this is about. The big news, I think, well, you heard me say it. The raid in Fulton County. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what's going on with this Fox News alert.
Fox News is learning FBI agents are on site at a Fulton County election office in Georgia, where they are conducting a search. David Spunt's got more details for us on this developing story. David?
Hi, Sandra. This is a satellite office for the Fulton County Elections Office. The FBI Atlanta press office confirming this, not giving many details, saying that the FBI is executing a court-authorized law enforcement action. No other details at this time, but we do know via sources a judge signed off on this warrant, allowing these agents, as you see them, enter this building to take items from the inside. Now, we're told that this is a sealed matter before the court, meaning details are now limited. Now, agents are looking at documents, phones, computers. We are told via multiple sources this is related to the 2020 presidential election. Now, we don't know specifically what agents are taking to the FBI lab, items that may eventually become part of a federal case. You may remember President Trump was charged in Fulton County with trying to overturn the 2020 election results. That's Brad Raffensperger right there. He is the Secretary of State of Georgia. That is the Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis. Now, Raffensperger spoke to President Trump back in early 2021, and Trump said that he wanted to find some 11,000 votes to help win the election. Raffensperger said that he felt pressure from Trump. Willis then took Donald Trump to trial. That didn't happen. In 2023, she said that her prosecution was all buttoned up, ready to go, but it was completely derailed after it was revealed she had an intimate relationship with the top prosecutor on her team, and it could have tainted the case. Late last year, a judge dismissed the case in its entirety. It's important to point out, Sandra, that a judge typically would not just sign off on a warrant so the FBI could go on what's known as a fishing expedition. It's likely the FBI and DOJ presented some credible evidence to the judge for the judge to go ahead and give the green light. No immediate comment from the Justice Department. Again, the FBI confirming this court-authorized search warrant. We are waiting to see if perhaps Director Kash Patel, Attorney General Pam Bondi, or even Secretary Raffensperger, or perhaps Governor Brian Kemp have anything.
The odor of mendacity. So what he's saying is there was probable cause. Probable cause. A judge signed off on a warrant, and they are there. Where's my video of, I got a video of them loading up the truck. And you hear the word truck. Where is that video? You hear the word truck and you go, oh, what, a pickup truck, a postal Jeep? What kind of truck? No, this is the kind of truck they're talking about. Let me put it on a loop so I can talk while I was playing. It's a daggone 18-wheeler. There they are. Gonna fill that baby up. Well, it's not 18 wheels. I don't know how many it is. But it's a big box truck, that's for damn sure. And they're gonna load that thing up. And yeah, Devin, thank you. Give me a like. Melinda. We all know that they were panicking now in Georgia. Well, I tell you what, Fannie Willis is going to be personally liable for potentially millions of dollars. And she's going to have a passel, I believe, of criminal issues that she's going to have to deal with. So are they talking about that in any of the mainstream media? Very little. This is what CNN put up. State of emergency. Confronting the crisis in Minnesota. Well, you all have seen the videos of them all getting locked up. All of it petering out. It's too damn cold. Greg Bavino, I believe they removed him for safety purposes. They all figured out where he was at using this app to conduct their illegal activity, their conspiracy. And he had to leave. All it takes is one nut. And believe me, they got plenty of nuts. But here's CNN. They're not talking about Fannie Willis. She's going to be in a fight for her life as far as for her freedom. Confronting the crisis of Minnesota, a CNN town hall moderated by Anderson Pooper Scooper. Nobody gives a damn about that. There's nothing going on. They had some crazy old woman out there hollering, Greg Bavino's been fired. He's gone. No, he's not. Here CNN had a, was it CNN? Yeah. Dana Bash. Why the long face, Dana? But anyway, she got her hound dog face. What's she talking about? Let me see.
Alex Preddy had a physical encounter with federal agents about a week before he was shot and killed by law enforcement. Sources tell CNN that Preddy broke a rib when a group of federal officers tackled him while he was protesting. Priscilla Alvarez is breaking that story for us. What else are you hearing, Priscilla?
Dana, we're learning more details along with my colleague Jeff Winter about what exactly transpired a week before Alex Preddy was shot in Minneapolis and died this past weekend. Now, in this earlier incident, he stopped his car after observing ICE agents chasing what he described as a family on foot and began shouting and blowing his whistle. Preddy later told one of these sources that 5 agents tackled him and one leaned on his back, appearing to leave him with a broken rib. According to this source, and I'm quoting here, that source said, quote, "That day he thought he was going to die." Now, Preddy was later given medication that is consistent with treating a broken rib, according to records reviewed by CNN. Sources also say that he was known to federal law enforcement, though it's unclear whether it was this incident or another with federal agents that they knew of him. It's also unclear whether the officers who tackled him on Saturday knew who he was. What we do know, however, is that federal immigration officers have been collecting personal information of protesters and agitators within the context of what the Department of Homeland Security has warned is repeated threats towards officers as they are conducting immigration enforcement operations. In fact, just Tuesday, the department also publicized an online tip form to share information about people allegedly harassing ICE officers. We've also heard Tom Homan, the White House border czar, say that a database would be created for those who are arrested for impeding law enforcement. But thus far, in our queries to the Department of Homeland Security, they have said that no such database.
Unbelievable. They said they were
to peel back there. Thank you so much for bringing.
They said they're putting out a hotline to get these people that are talking smack and physically obstructing to have their rear ends thrown in jail. Nobody is hiding that at all. This is the kind of crap they pull, folks. Alex, whatever the hell his name is. Here they show how they changed his picture. CNN did that to Joe Rogan. Here's where they made Joe Rogan look like he was sick because he was taking ivermectin. Remember that? He's suing them, and they're going to pay. But look what they did with Alec. You know, he's a soy-infused liberal, limp-wristed liberal that full of anger, has no future, probably lives with his parents, and they dolled the picture up to make him look more robust, more like a normal person. But these people are nurses. And, you know, it's got to make you wonder. And yes, I am worried about going to the doctor. I'm going to start eating right, even better, to try to avoid going around any of these lunatics. Look what they do with Trump. Look here. Look at this. This is ABC. Look at the orange highlight in his photo. When have you ever seen Donald Trump appear that way? Midas Touch Network and ABC and CNN do this crap all the damn time. They turn the filter up to a hideous orange, and this is where they're trying to say Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, met with Trump in the Oval Office. Administration faces fallout over federal agent operations and the fatal shooting of Alice Preddy. No, she didn't say anything wrong. She called him a domestic terrorist. Fine. In my book, anybody that is on a Signal app, if that's the case, he was on one, coordinating with people who are trying to frustrate federal law officers. Yeah, they're domestic terrorists in my book. Yeah, he brought a gun not for nothing, as they say in the mafia. Not for nothing. So everything they said, you can't trust a damn thing you see. That's why I've got this picture up the way I did my thumbnail. There's Alex Preddy screaming at ILHAN OMAR. She's under the gun. Trump has said her rear end has got to go, that she's involved in criminal activity. She doesn't belong in the House of Representatives, and she shouldn't even be in this country. And where the hell did you get all that money? Oh, when that stuff comes up, well, we have the so-called attack. I know you all have seen it. I know you've seen it. But I'll tell you what I saw, and then I'll play it. I saw her looking around the room. His approach when he comes up to her, looks like a bad action movie. He doesn't charge her. He toddles side to side, a side to side stumble as he comes toward her. Some people said, oh, he had water in the syringe. Some people in chats in another creator I was watching their video said that they put bacon grease in the syringe because she's Muslim and all this kind of stuff. I heard what it was apple cider vinegar. Is that what you all heard? Yeah, Melinda saw it, apple cider vinegar. Yeah. So, she charges at him. She goes at him like that little wisp of a woman is going to do anything about some big stupid sluggo that's coming at her. If that was real, listen, these lefties, they have urine balloons, fecal matter balloons, okay? They know they have AI and then DS, and they spit on people. They do this stuff because they're maniacs, because they're demonic, because they're psychotic. Any normal person that had an unknown substance hit their body, it could be sulfuric acid, it could be any kind of irritant, which I'll show you how they plan it, and I'm sure they're all up to steam with that. One of these wonderful nurses was talking about taking poison ivy and turning it, liquefying it, and throwing it on agents in their faces and on their hands. Oh, so ILHAN Omar is so brave that she's going to charge after a 200-some-pound man, and that she's going to just ignore whatever substance was thrown on her. She's not even going to smell it. She's not going to stick her hands out for a paper towel to dry off. No, she is so brave. No. Any reasonable person, anybody with a brain in their head would say, hey, something's wrong with this scene, but I'll go ahead and play it. You'll tell me if you see what I see. Her charging after him, her not hesitating to see what kind of substance was put on her. The way he runs at her is like a staged toddle, not a charge.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know.
Oh my God! Oh my God! He sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing.
No, we'll go.
No, we will continue.
No. ILHAN, you need to go get checked.
No, we will continue. These are not going to get away with it.
You need to go get checked. No, you don't know what.
Hi, Jackie. Yeah, you're right. He sprayed it on her shirt. Would you look at your shirt to see if there was any smoke or acid coming? A bleach that's going to ruin your favorite sweater? Something? No, she didn't give any reaction. So, I'm not going to get into controversies how some people are talking about it because they just want clicks. They're saying, oh, I think it was real. They just want clicks, acting all high-minded and stuff. But no, nobody's going to tell me that was real. No, I'm not an idiot. Anybody could see that was a staged event. And sure enough, what does somebody come up with right here? Right here. Guess who that is? Guess who that is giving the hand signals and got the blue hair and the orange hair with them? Whose family is that? You think that's a MAGA person? Well, C3 says, the alleged ILHAN Omar sprayer, Andy Kazmierczak, seems to have some far-left gender pronoun children. But yeah, totally MAGA. This stinks of being staged. The odor of mendacity. Look at that. There they are. So, common sense. Oh, but we have these heroes, these wonderful heroes like ILHAN OMAR. She's so brave. The hero nurse that lost his life just simply protecting a woman in the snow. Who the hell are you all kidding? Look here. Update. Now, who are they talking about? Update. Following an investigation, the individual involved in the social media videos is no longer employed by VCU Health. In addition, VCU Health has fulfilled its reporting requirements under Virginia's state law. What does that mean? That there's going to be a police investigation into this woman. I'll show you who it is. This lunatic right here. Now, like I say, they all talk together. They're all tied together into a narrative, all right? And planning and plotting how to collect license plate numbers, working with deranged people that have landed a job in the police department or sheriff's department or wherever to illegally use programs to track ICE agents and then communicate it back with the insurrectionists and the conspirators, okay? We know all this stuff. So here she's talking about what you can do with a syringe. She says it, a syringe. What you can put in a syringe. And, ILHAN OMAR doesn't know nothing about this, does she? That's why she was so brave, because she would not consider that anybody would ever put anything foul or harmful on her body.
I thought of something good. I think it's something weird spot. Sabotage tactic, or at least scare tactic. All the medical providers, grab some syringes with needles on the end. Have them full of saline or succinylcholine, whatever. That will probably be a deterrent. Be safe. Okay, for today's resistance tip, I vote, anybody got any poison ivy, poison oak in their yard? Get some of that up with gloves, obviously. Get it in some water, like a gallon of water. Get the poison ivy oak water, and I'm gonna put it into a water gun. Aim for faces, hands. Or the single ladies where these ICE guys are going have a chance to do something, not without risk, but could help the cause for sure. Get on Tinder, get on Hinge, find these guys. They're around. They're an ICE agent. Bring some X-Lax and put it in their drinks. Get them sick. Nobody's gonna die. Just enough to incapacitate them, get them off the street for the next day. Highly easily deniable. You could get sick too. Won't eat there again. I'm just saying, let's get them where they eat. Somebody's not going to be supporting these guys. Where's the hotel where they eat? Who makes that breakfast? Let's find them. Let's make their lives fucking miserable. I know we're already trying to keep them awake all night. That's good. Anything you can do to make the living conditions bad. Talk to the people who work at the places where they are. Come up with some ideas. Dead fish. Somewhere in the room hidden. Just stay.
How'd you like to be married to something like that? And let me tell you, this is one of those histrionic imbeciles that would sit there and scream and cry over this little kid This one right here, that they're all screaming and crying about, whose father abandoned him, okay? They don't belong in this country anyway. Another dopey federal judge has blocked a possible deportation of a 5-year-old and her father for now. CNN, don't you know, is celebrating this kind of crap. He's got a Spider-Man book bag. How many, woman, I want to ask you, woman, how many children have you thrown in a dumpster behind Planned Parenthood or a similar operation? Maybe even your own flesh and blood. And you're going to turn on the waterworks for somebody you've never met, never will meet, had no business being in this country, and is undermining the social fabric, the financial fabric of this country, them and millions more. And you want to sit here and connive and plot on how to physically injure or worse people that are trying to serve this country in a law enforcement capacity. You're disgusting. You are disgusting. And I see somebody said people are losing their licenses over it. They should. And she should serve time in jail. No more playing around. VCU Health has fulfilled its reporting requirements under Virginia state law. Now, Virginia's been co-opted by a bunch of psycho Marxists. We'll go over that. One thing they're trying to push through is if you have a firearm, you can't discharge it on your own property unless you own 5 acres. If you have less than 5 acres, you have to sit there and stare at your pew-pew. You can't train, you can't test fire it. All kinds of stuff they're trying to push through. And remember that video where Trump said, I was never so disappointed as when the court ruled for these illegal votes to be counted in Virginia. Something's going to happen with Virginia. Here's a short version of this so-called hero. The other hero in the thumbnail. Dingbat. I had a picture of him, a freeze frame. I might have to go out of the studio to get it. But here, wait a minute. Let me go ahead and play this. Helping women in the snow, helping little children, a nurse, a caring nurse. What would you think he'd do? How would you like the one I just had on the screen or this idiot alone with you in a hospital where you can't get out of bed and they got a needle and they know you're MAGA? What do you think would happen to you?
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Preddy interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team...
Oh, this is the long version. This is the long version. I had a shorter version. I'll just go ahead and play the long version. This is like 2 minutes long. And this was 11 days. Let's see, January 13th. When did he buy the farm? When did he buy the farm? So this was not a week before the incident because that's when he broke his ribs. This is the one that got on tape. He apparently did not break his ribs because it was longer, like 11 days before, not a week. So we may get some more footage of this nitwit coming out.
Corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and...
Steel-toed boot. Steel-toed boot. That's what knocked that fiberglass out. He didn't just knock the light out. He broke the fiberglass in the frame of, the body of the truck. because he's got a steel-toed boot and he knows it. And he's carrying a gun in this instance. He's got one on him. I'll show you a freeze-frame picture I got where you can see the outline of the gun, exactly where it was during his last encounter with ICE.
During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Preddy was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband.
You know, I saw a freeze frame. From behind. You see him right there behind that yellow post? When I saw the picture of him from behind, I didn't know it was him. I didn't know he had that big of a hole in his haircut, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, I know he's got a lot of face to wash from the front. You know, he's about half bald. But from behind, I didn't know he had that a Friar Tuck look, you know. So anyway, clear view of the pistol on his person. And yes, Todd, if he had been arrested, then he may very well still be alive now. So, you know, but they're trying to get along with the public and lower their profile. And, you know, that you have judges letting them go. And then they get themselves in a situation.
Here, he continues to stand at the scene. On the day he was killed, the Department of Homeland Security claims Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun. That claim has been contradicted by analysis of bystander videos from multiple news investigations, which concluded that Preddy was holding a phone, not a gun, when he was pinned to the street. Shortly after the altercation we filmed here on January 13th, federal agents drove away. Soon after that, we left the scene.
So anyway, I want to show you that short version because, you know, something that they're not bringing up is the steel-toed boot. That's a weapon. He is targeting that corner of where the light is, the tail light, because he knows he's got a hunk of steel in his boot, and he would do that to somebody's head if he got him on the damn ground. Okay? Watch it, and you'll see how he utilizes a steel-toed boot to damage property. Somebody needs to bring that up too.
On January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Preddy interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition...
I meant to freeze it where you could see the fiberglass around the light was broken away.
Recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy.
Anyway, you can freeze it at about the 30 second mark or somewhere around there. You'll see he knocked a chunk of fiberglass out of the body of that truck using a steel-toed boot. Who the hell wears a steel-toed boot to go to a protest? much less grab a firearm. People that have been pumped up by people like this. If this person has a law degree, it ought to be a law license that ought to be stripped from him.
When Stephen Miller goes out and calls a guy who was, by every account so far, who never had a legal problem, had a concealed carry permit, had a gun permit in Minnesota. He was a nurse. He was nice to his neighbors. And you know what? Stephen Miller went out and called him a domestic terrorist, claiming he was trying to assassinate those ICE agents. You know, I almost tweeted this today, and I know I'll get canceled for saying this. I know I'm going to get in trouble. I want Stephen Miller to be the #1 in the Nuremberg trials when this is done. When this is done, I want Stephen Miller to be the first one who is tried and convicted and fucking dangles. Okay? I want him to be brought before a court of law because he is the sole executive that runs all this DHS ICE stuff, the ICE Stapo.
Bingo, Graybeard, bingo. He was violating the law while he violated his concealed carry. You can't commit illegal activity while you're in possession of a firearm. Everybody's on Trump because Trump said, no, you can't bring guns. You can't have a gun. People said, oh, Trump is against the Second Amendment. You can't have a gun while you are conspiring and actively obstructing law enforcement and looking for physical conflict, destroying federal property with your steel-toed boot. He had multiple felonies in that one video I just showed you. His ass should have been in jail for a long period of time. He's dangerous, he's a menace, and he should not have been given bail. And this idiot talking about dangling, well, you think he's mad? Look at this nitwit. Listen to this psycho. Again, the smarmy smile, the greasy liberal look. He looks like the one with the syringe. And they try to make themselves look tough, like Eric Swalwell trying to wear a duckbill hat. I wear a duckbill hat. I wear a lot of hats. But I ain't no dopey liberal. But you can see the soy oozing out of their ears, But listen to this POS.
Hi, this is Elliot Forehand, candidate for Ohio Attorney General. I want to tell you what I mean when I say that I am going to kill Donald Trump. I mean, I'm going to obtain a conviction rendered by a jury of his peers at a standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, based on evidence presented at a trial conducted in accordance with the requirements of due process, resulting in a sentence duly executed of capital punishment. That is what I mean when I say that I'm going to kill Donald Trump.
Yeah. You think that is free speech? You think that's free speech, something that should be allowed? Truth alert. Scotty, don't be typing in all caps. And you want to talk about issues, my chat will tell you that I engage with people with subjects. Don't make yourself out to be a troll or somebody non-productive in the chats. But you're welcome to be here. You can make some friends. And I got to take that one down about the JEWs that sets off little flags. So don't do that. Who is this guy? Put him in jail. Anyway, I didn't block you, so just don't be typing in all caps. And you've got more friends than you know. You don't have to make a big splash. Now here's, that guy was wanting to run for attorney general. Here's an actual attorney general in Ohio. In Ohio. Incendiary comments.
This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them. If we have to hunt you down the way they hunted down Nazis for decades, we will find your identities, we will find you, we will achieve justice.
Okay, well, we'll be checking out your bank accounts too, pal. How about that? How's that grab you? Oh, wait a minute. Here, another nurse. JLR Investigates put this up. A transgender named Freya James Ebsen was arrested for participating in the Maple Grove Hotel riot last night. Ebsen is a clinic nurse in Minneapolis. There she is. How would you like someone like that in charge of your care? That's what I'm saying. Eat right. Try to stay away from these flippin' doctors and so-called nurses. Where is that one shot that ABC News put up? All these, where'd it go? Let me see if I can find it. Stick with me. Don't run off. Here they are. ABC News. Oh, here they are. Staff at Minneapolis, Virginia Medical Center holds a moment of silence of Alex Preddy, or VA Medical. I was reading that article on Virginia gun laws. But anyway, yeah, look at them all sad. He was an idiot. He was an agitator. He was an infiltrator. He was a conspirator. He was a felon. And it had more than one photo. I wasn't showing all that boo-hoo BS. Of course, you hate to see anybody lose their life, but when they sit here and do this agitating, here you go. And the Academy Awards for Worst Actors go to ILHAN Omar. And I don't know why they call him the Craigslist villain, but she got him off of Craigslist. There they are. There they are. Here we go. Let's see what this is. Yeah, they said, well, there's rumors that they have this hit list of constitutional observers and protesters, but the government denies it. No, they don't deny it. We got a list of people who are stirring up crap and putting people in danger, and we're going to put their asses in jail, okay?
You're a fucking fascist pig. You should fucking kill yourself. I hope your wife dies. I hope your mom and dad die. I hope everything wrong that could go in your life happens. You should kill yourself. You're fucking disgusting. I hate you. Everyone hates you. You're a fucking murderer, and all of your friends are fucking murderers.
Your reaction to that?
What kind of reaction can you have to it? But the beginning of the story says anti-ICE agitators are threatening families of our law enforcement. We will hunt these sickos down and put them behind bars. ICE Gov. Officers are facing more than 8,000 increase in death threats against them. Most of it all from Minnesota. These bunch of losers in Minnesota. Psychos. Here's one right here. Here's an ICE agent trying to they were at a brewery, minding their own business in the evening time, and they come across a sick, demon-possessed liberal.
These are ICE agents, and they do not deserve one moment of fucking peace. Fuck you guys. Go to back fuck where you came from. And city, you guys are not welcome.
See, somebody like that needs their chops smacked. Never had a smack in the chops. I hate to say it that way, but that's the old school way of doing it. You act like that around somebody got too close, you got your chops smacked.
Come here. You guys are pieces of shit that cause terror, and you're fucking terrorists. You're not American. Get the fuck out of our city, you pieces of shit. You are not welcome here.
Yeah, you get that close to me doing that. Go ahead. So anyway, thank you, Stanton. I appreciate it. So, yeah, I do my best. Oh, here. I didn't even get to watch this. I uploaded it. I said, well, this might be funny. This is Citizens Free Press with us. Liberals and ICE. Let's see. It'd be my first time seeing it.
That's right. You and me. Right now. We're having it out. Let's go. Come on. Come on.
Ha 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 ha! I bet I get a notice about that. I don't know. I don't know if that's allowed or not. But anyway, here, so let's see what this video is. I gotta roll. Oh, this jerk, foul-mouthed jerk. He's a government employee. Mark Holdenack. I can't read that little tiny print there. Maybe y'all can get a screenshot. And he's some kind of a councilman or some little paper tiger somewhere going around harassing women. I saw a video where a woman's son caught one of these lunatics cursing at his mother. And yeah, that guy shut up and ran like a cut hyena because the son was going to beat his rear end. And maybe some more of that needs to happen.
Take photos with them.
You little fucking cunt! You little fucking cunt!
They're taking photos of my face so they can recognize me on social media.
And everybody's gonna know you have a smelly little cunt!
There we go. Okay. And that's what happens when you support racist motherfuckers.
Do you think that makes you right to scream? Come back, sir. You were so brave to talk to those women. I'm trying to talk to you. I'm not talking to a fucking people.
Get him by the back of the neck and shake that little marble brain around a couple of times. Whoa. So anyway, yeah, what a creep. What a creep. What's this one? Let me see. What is this video? Oh, let's see. FBI serves sealed warrant at elections office in Fulton County. It's getting hot in here. Isn't that a song?
Going inside of the election facility. Our photographer was able to go inside. He was let inside and allowed to be up and close. As you can see, this is interesting because one of the questions we did ask Larry was if agents were restricting his access or asking him to back up at all. And he said that so far they've been allowing reporters to get up close to the situation.
Outside if you want to take
Yeah. Okay, so now agents are asking them to back up.
Actually, you shouldn't even be in this area, but
hey, you know what? I don't have a key, so there you go.
Okay.
Okay, so agents are asking them to back up, saying our crew should not be in this area. So this is something we're going to continue to monitor. And as our photojournalist gathers more information and reporter Larry Sproul gathers more information, we're going to get that information for you. Right now,
Yeah, get that information. Well, you know what? I put in my title that Iran and China were in a state, and I didn't get a chance to put this bit of news up from earlier in the week, but apparently there's a big shakeup in the military in China right here. This happened about 3 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago. Nuclear secrets to the U.S. Bribery allegations have been leveled against General Zhang Yujia, whatever his name is, whose downfall carries implications for the country's military readiness. In China, a high-ranking general was accused of leaking information about Chinese nuclear weapons and corruption to the U.S., according to the Wall Street Journal. Whatever his name is, was once considered the most trusted military advisor to Xi Jinping. The evidence against him was provided by the former CEO of the China National Nuclear Corporation, which oversees all aspects of China's civilian and military nuclear programs. So he is, if he's even around anymore, his removal caused a lot of upheaval. And they say that there are factions that want to keep him there. And this was reporting today. Video shared on 26 January shows PLA military vehicles in Tianjin with the road sign shown on it indicated that this location in the Wuqing district in Tianjin, which is only about 25 to 31 miles from the center of Beijing. So there's hardware moving on the capital. You know what I mean? Hardware, right? Alongside it, there are reports stating that the PLA existing General Staff Command System has currently been suspended. The whole General Staff Command, top dogs, has been suspended and replaced by District Direct Command from the Central Military Commission via coded telegrams. All units across the entire military have entered first-level combat readiness, with all military movements immediately frozen and halted. You freeze in place and be ready for combat. All officers and soldiers have been required to hand in their mobile phones and participate in a centralized political study. All officers and soldiers have to turn in their phones. So look for the you-know-what to hit the fan. We know Trump is getting ready to thump Iran, right? But here's a little humorous thing that the Russian news put out. There's Macron in the middle. Macron has been wearing his glasses for a week. Trump mentioned it again last night. He said, "What's going on with that? That's weird." After appearing in public with an injury. Human rights activists, please check on Comrade Macron. There's a suspicion that he's a victim of domestic violence. So his little buddy, known as his wife, may have popped him in the eye. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, here is Trump announcing. an increase in trade tariffs on South Korea from 15 to 25%. The American leader accused the South Korean parliament of delaying ratification of the trade agreement reached between the two countries last year. Since the Korean parliament has not ratified our historic trade agreement, which is its prerogative, I hereby increase the tariffs on South Korean cars, lumber, pharmaceutical products, and all other goods subject to reciprocal tariffs from 15 to 25%, Trump wrote on a social media network. Well, remember, the president has been arrested, and I had an article last week that they were going to make him eligible for the death penalty because he declared martial law, because he felt there was communist infiltration in the parliament. Well, they overrode it and arrested him because they are communists and they have taken over the parliament, and that's what they do with their political enemies. And now they're screwing around with trade agreements. You know, this tariff thing right here. Interest rates. This guy right here, Too Late Pal. It's going to be interesting to see how his story ends. We shall see. Fed holds interest rates steady, defying political pressure from Trump administration. CNN News. He holds them steady. In other words, he's still sticking it to the American people to appease European overlords. Okay? European overlords to blunt the effects of the tariffs. He's not serving the American people. He's being influenced by foreign forces. And we'll see what happens to him because there is a criminal investigation. Just something on the Ukraine front. The cocaine Führer. Who's that? Zelensky. That's how the Ruskies refer to him. Stated he wants to meet with Putin to discuss Donbass and the ZNPP, which is the nuclear power plant. They want to share power because half of Kiev is without power and they're freezing their rear ends off. What's there to discuss? It's unclear whether Ukraine draws its troops from Donbass and receives a portion of the electricity from ZNPP after the end of the war. No one will cede ZNPP and Donbass to it. The conditions for the cocaine Führer have long been outlined, whether either accept the conditions or accept the consequences. A meeting with Putin, which the cocaine Führer dreams of, is not necessary here. So he's sending out signals he might work around the parameters of Trump's plan. And the Russians said, if he does want to meet, we'll meet. Okay? So we shall see what's going on down there. Let me see what the story is right here. Oh, there's that bonehead, the star of the show. He's getting his 15 minutes of fame. He has to enjoy it from afar. Breaking, a new Department of Homeland Security, this is ABC News. Do they put out about him kicking with a steel-toed boot a vehicle, spitting on the officers, breaking the law while carrying a weapon? No. They say a report says that 2 federal officers shot Alex Preddy on Saturday in Minneapolis. The report does not say that Preddy attempted to reach for his weapon based on preliminary review of the body cam. Well, do you all mention that he has a track record of committing felonies while armed? This isn't his first rodeo. How about that? Here's Tim Walz. I remember what, I think I have two clips from him. I'm not sure what this one is. Let me see. Let's play it and see what it is.
I would beat the shit out of him now if I could, and I would call that out. I mean, that's just different.
He's talking about J.D. Vance. He's talking about J.D. Vance. Let me play that again. How do you think that would end up if he tried anything with J.D.? I think J.D. Vance would kick his rear end down the street and back.
I would beat the shit out of him now if I could, and I would call that out. I mean, that's just different. In verbally going at it, my argument is much better. Making the case that housing prices are up because of immigration and that we should build on federal lands, it was such a crazy thing. But then when I watched him, I got sucked into that. And if you remember, this was right in that moment of eating dogs and cats. I took that bait and thought that that was the argument of how outrageous it was. That was not the argument.
And he said that your cops are liars. He said that the
well,
ICE agents aren't.
They all did. That's exactly right. That this is the problem with them. And well, the president said it, that we told them to stand down. Do you think they would do that? Do you think that police would not protect citizens, no matter if I'm like, oh, don't do this? But yes. Well, this is the whole paradox with these.
This guy's desperate. He's desperate. Look at his face. Who the hell talks about kicking the AASS of the vice president when you're in your situation? I look for his arrest to be imminent. Imminent. Here's the other clip I got him with Anderson Pooper Scooper. They talked a good game when they had Trump on the phone. Trump had Bonvino go back to California. Tom Homan, let me tell you something. Bonvino was like a patent tank, okay? A patent tank. And they thought they won because Trump pulled out the patent tank. He sent Homan. That's like a King Tiger, okay? King Tiger tank. Look up your World War II tanks, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, so he thinks he got one over on Trump and Tom Homan. Here he is acting like a tough guy with Anderson Pooper Scooper. But you can tell by his face and his mannerisms, this guy is rattled, and he's desperate.
First of all, the meeting with Tom Homan, how did that go? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, Tom Homan's a professional, which is a lot more than Bovino and Kristi Noem. But look, I think the thing we said is we're very clear about this, that we need these folks out of Minnesota, and we need justice for Renee Good and for Alex, and those were things that we came with. I think the thing that I'm most concerned about is the tone was different. There was a tone shift. I wish it was because of the horrific, shooting that somebody saw some morality, but I think it's probably the press. But with that being said, I'm not interested in a more efficient Metro surge. I'm ready for them to get out of here, and I think that's where Minnesotans are talking about. So it was progress. Look, I never got a call from Bovino or Noem. Never. Nothing. No, nothing. When they're coming here, and Tom Homan landed last night, and he called me last night and asked if he could have a meeting, and he was there at 9 o'clock. So, look, I think that's progress, but they started this fire, so we're not giving anybody credit for putting it out. But right now, what we need a return to normalcy by these ICE agents out of here.
Yeah, sure. ICE is going to pack up and leave, and they started the fire. Yeah, not you. No, you didn't start the fire. They did. Well, we'll see what happens to you, Timmy. We'll see what happens to you. Here is Megyn Kelly talking about them messing around, changing the appearance. He said, we want justice for Renee Good. We want justice for Alex Preddy, or whatever his name is. True justice for them would be to truthfully define their legacy. They were criminal conspirators committing felonies. Okay? They're felonious traitors to this country. That's what they were. That's their legacy. Now, justice has been done.
And we have got to talk about what MSNBC did with the image of Alex Preddy. Apparently, they did not think that their hero was hot enough. And so they or someone from whom they got the picture clearly manipulated the photo that is out there of Alex Preddy in his nurse's scrubs to make him look better in the image that Nicole Wallace showed on the air. Now, I'm showing, let's put this up. It's the original and then the after. All right, now, I actually looked very close. I put my reading glasses on and I zoomed in, and you can see actually what they've done. They've darkened his hair. Again, I don't know who did it, but MSNBC used it. They darkened his hair. They filled in his hair a little to make him look slightly less bald. They tanned him up. They whitened his teeth, and they may have straightened one tooth over there on the top left. There was like a snaggle, and it appears to have been gone in the AI version on the right. His nose, which I'm sorry, but you take a man's rather prominent nose and start manipulating it to make it look less like long and out there, and now you're really messing with things. Like that is just
like a filter that makes the guy look tan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Roland. Hi, Angela. I'm just laughing because women have sharper eyes. And she's noticing stuff. I knew it was manipulated. You can see it. The overall picture. But she's getting down into little details that women notice, I have to say. And it's just making me laugh. But anyway, men, we notice overall differences, but women are so detail-oriented. But yeah, his schnoz, his teeth, his jawline, everything about it, they compress him, make him look like a tough guy.
All right, maybe that could happen accidentally. The shortening of a nose? That does not happen accidentally. And his jaw may have been shortened in the picture on the right. There have been multiple manipulations on this picture.
They like juiced him. Look at his right bicep. I saw this image. Like they really went to town.
Oh my God, you're right.
Isn't that insane? Think about that.
I didn't even notice that one.
It's less insane than being horny for Luigi Mangione.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So this is technically an improvement.
That's actually right.
Yeah.
Well, can you listen to the messaging that Nicole Wallace was giving her audience when she used the manipulated image? Listen.
This time it was 37-year-old Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse who cared for veterans. Donald Trump and his cabinet, his administration, are demanding once again that you not believe your eyes and ears.
Kind of thinking that would be a good instinct in this particular instance, but what kind of a cynical mofo is he's not hot enough?
Yeah.
We have to make him look hotter if we really want him to be our poster boy.
Don't believe your eyes and ears while they put up a manipulated picture. But anyway, one thing I wanted to point out, they said the only evidence they put forward that he had a broken rib was that he was taking medicine consistent with somebody with a broken rib. Somebody in the chats, might have been Kim, somebody said earlier that he might have got canned from wherever he was working at for some odd behavior. Did he get fired? I don't know. But just because he's taking medicine consistent with a broken rib, he could have been stealing pain medicine or obtaining it through nefarious ways. We don't know. So, too many boosters. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Roland. So anyway, let me see what this one is. I don't even know. It's one of them black screen jobs. I don't know what this is. Let me see. Oh, man. I'll play it. This bunch makes me sick.
I take your point, and I accept the data. I'm not saying it's exactly 50-50 equal, but let's also not forget Charlie Kirk was murdered. The president,
not by a left-wing extremist. That person.
Look, if you look at the
Now watch. Watch how she will not keep her mouth shut. He can't get a half a sentence out with her running her mouth. I don't know how he goes through this, or Scott Jennings goes through this and doesn't look at them and tell them, would you just shut up for a minute? I guess it's not allowed, but it should be.
targets. If you look at people in office, there's
the right attacks the right.
People on, but there's Josh Shapiro, there's Melissa Horton, now there's ILHAN Omar on this side, there's Donald Trump on this side, there's Charlie Kirk on this side.
You're saying that, but those
I'm not saying it's exactly mathematically equal.
But it's not even analogous.
Take your data.
It's not even analogous.
Rhetoric on both sides. The fact that there was an assassination attempt on the
it's not disingenuous. That is BS. And even the attacks that you're referencing, Ellie, those were right-wing people. Like, give me the...
It's like trying to have a conversation with a rude 12-year-old. Just constantly running that damn mouth. I don't know how they put up with it. I wouldn't put up with it. I'd blow them out of the water. Who's this? What is this one? It's not long. Let me see. Can you all hear it?
Every president in modern history has left our children with nothing but debt. But under this administration, we're going to leave every child with real assets and a shot at financial freedom. We'll ensure that Americans don't just end their lives with a nest egg, but instead all Americans will begin their lives with a beautiful nest egg.
Now, who could be against that? And he's right. Everybody, every president before him has left people nothing but damn debt. And they're doing the bank accounts for newborns. And who could be against that? Oh, I'll tell you who. These lunatics right here. Liberal woman frantically refreshing Instagram to see what they should be mad about next. Oh my gosh. I poor pity somebody looking for a spouse in this day and age. Whoa, wait a minute. Looking for a spouse in this day and age. Wait a minute. Get back on the screen. Wait a minute. Where's my... There we go. I almost messed my studio up. So anyway, what is this? Let me see. Report. Just in, the court smacks down Dems redistricting push in key state. A Virginia judge ruled Democrat-led efforts to radically redraw the state's congressional districts ahead of the 2026 midterms. They're already holding primaries, you nitwits. Of course a judge smacks you down. But, we got to keep an eye on Virginia. Something's going to pop in Virginia. Trump didn't mention that cheating for nothing. You know, here's a picture of Frey. Jacob Frey. And you know what? I said it before. When they get under pressure, they start looking like they've been on a long drunk. They don't shave. Their hair gets tousled up. They kind of have an overall greasy look. What is it with these men? I mean, they got the same Justin Trudeau, Macron, and Newsom. You know, they all look like they came out of the same soy pod. I don't know what it is with women. Why they think, but here he is. But this is Newsmax. Trump putting out, surprisingly, Mayor Jacob Frey just stated that Minneapolis does not and will not enforce federal immigration laws. This after having a very good conversation with him. Could somebody in his inner sanctum please explain that this stalemate is very serious violation of law and he is playing with fire? Well, he responded to that, if I can find it. And smart aleck resistance. Where is it? I think this is it right here. Smart aleck resistance. He responds by saying, the job of our police is to keep people safe, not enforce federal immigration laws. I want them to be preventing homicides, not hunting down a working dad who contributes to MPLS and is from Ecuador. It's similar to the policy your guy Rudy had in New York City. Everyone should feel safe calling 911. Well, we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens. Trump put out his directives, what they must do. Must do. Not what they can think about doing. Steak and Shake. Oh, yeah, I wanted to put this up after that. I played that with Trump. You know, I remember Stephen Miller giving a little speech in the subway. Do you all remember that? I think it was New York, might have been Grand Central Station. I'm not sure. But there was a Steak and Shake ad prominently displayed. Steak and Shake has been backing the Trump administration. Here they pledge to support our employers and children with $1,000 match to Trump accounts for every child born between 2025 and 2026. 28, $1,000 match. So you get the $1,000 for your kid from the Trump administration. Steak and Shake will put in, if you're an employee, they'll put in another $1,000. By funding tax advantage investment accounts for our employees' children, we are ensuring that the next generation of Americans participate from birth in our free market wealth building economy. Steak and Shake has benefited from our country's prosperity, and we are committed to giving back to our communities and our country. Steak and Shakes is a whatever that is, Bagalari Holdings Company. But anyway, yeah, if you have other big companies doing that, it's going to happen. They're not going to let them, other companies are not going to get shown up. Oh, I want to play this. Melania opened up the stock market. The S&P hit 7,000 for the first time ever. Trump put out a truth, said, America is back. Melania's got her movie coming out. I don't know much about it, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of women. I mean, it's a women-centric movie, I'm sure. So anyway, we'll see how that movie goes for Melania. I guess her story about coming back to the White House. You know, ain't this a shame? Laken Riley was a nurse too. There were 0 Democrats protesting in the streets for her. Isn't that heartbreaking? A decent, hard-working nursing student lost her life because of what these animals are promoting. And it's hard to take. Yeah, we got to keep her in mind. I can't, you know, I was bashing on nurses, you know, and then talking about how concerning it is to have these types of nurses. But there are good ones out there too. There are good ones out there too. Yeah, you're right, Angela. They didn't need to enhance her picture. A beautiful young lady. And, you know, by all rights, the one that did that to her, that should have been taken care of publicly, and he should not be using any of our oxygen anymore. But unfortunately, he is. We'll be taking care of him for a long, long time. But anyway, folks, I'm going to play this video for you. I hope you enjoy it. And what do I always say? I say, thank you for spending your precious time with me. I am once again at the end of the broadcast putting in a link to buy me a coffee in the chats, as this is a totally viewer-supported channel. And I should be going live tomorrow night. I hope you all join me. If you're not subscribed, why not? Thank you for not being rude to the person who joined the chats earlier, and let's hope that we can make new friends as we march through history. So anyway, a 10-year struggle. Didn't I tell you it was going to be a lot of work and a lot more work to go? So anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Okay, I think I have a compromise, this whole Minnesota thing. Not everyone's going to be happy. That's what happens with compromises, but just hear me out. We give Minnesota to Canada in exchange for Alberta. Now, wait, just listen. Canada gets what it likes, Marxists and refugees which defraud their welfare system. And America gets what it likes, normal people, and oil, lots of oil. I'm just saying it's worth considering.